Have you ever considered how prejudice, discrimination, and stigma in our society can deeply affect a person's mental well-being? Perhaps, unfortunately, you know already. These social phenomena, prejudice, discrimination, and stigma, are often an undercurrent in our daily lives, subtly shaping our thoughts, actions, and experiences. Sometimes they are as overt as a shout, other times as subtle as a whisper, but their impact on mental health is significant and undeniable. Prejudice, a preconceived opinion not based on reason or actual experience. Discrimination, unjust treatment based on differing categories. And stigma, a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. These can lead to anxiety, depression, and a host of other mental health issues. But fear not, understanding and education are the first steps towards change. By acknowledging and addressing these social issues, we can start to reduce their impact on mental well-being. Now let's delve deeper into some real-life cases to better understand the impacts of these social issues. If it is not something you have experienced firsthand, imagine being judged negatively purely based on your race, religion, or gender. This is a reality for many people, and it's called prejudice. Prejudice, in its simplest form, is preconceived opinion not based on reason or actual experience. It's a bias that can have far-reaching impacts on individuals and communities alike. Let's consider a few real-life examples. Picture a talented young woman, passionate about her field, passed over for promotions time and again because of gender bias in her workplace. Or an individual of a certain race or ethnicity, constantly under the microscope, facing unwarranted suspicion or hostility. Each of these scenarios illustrates the impact of prejudice. One of the most immediate effects of prejudice is social exclusion. Prejudiced attitudes can lead to certain individuals or groups being left out, ignored, or even ostracized. This can lead to feelings of loneliness, rejection, and isolation, which are detrimental to mental health. Reduced opportunities is another significant impact of prejudice. When individuals are not given the same opportunities as others based on aspects of their identity, it can limit their potential and lead to feelings of hopelessness and frustration. This not only affects their career prospects, but can also have a profound impact on their sense of self-worth. And let's not forget the chronic stress that comes with experiencing prejudice. The constant anticipation of discrimination, the pressure to prove oneself, and the fear of confirming negative stereotypes can all contribute to elevated stress levels. Over time, this chronic stress can lead to a range of mental health issues, including anxiety and depression. So, what we see is that prejudice doesn't just harm individuals on an emotional level. It can also limit their opportunities, isolate them from their social groups, and contribute to long-term mental health issues. Sadly, these are not isolated incidents, but reflect a broader pattern of prejudice in our society. What if you were treated unfairly because of who you are or where you come from? Imagine the hurt that would cause, the constant feeling of being judged, of not being good enough. Maybe some of you watching this video do not have to imagine it. This isn't a hypothetical situation for many people. It's their daily reality. Let's delve into the world of discrimination to understand its impact better. Discrimination is when someone is treated unfairly or unjustly based on their race, gender, age, disability, or any other characteristic. It's like a more active form of prejudice, where these unfounded biases are put into action, leading to unequal treatment. Now, let's look at some real-life examples to see how discrimination can affect people's lives. Take the story of Maria, a qualified engineer who had to face gender discrimination at her workplace. Despite her talent and hard work, she was often overlooked for promotions while her male counterparts moved up the ladder. Maria started questioning her abilities, her self-esteem plummeted, and she felt worthless, which led to severe depression. Then there's Jamal, a young man from a minority ethnic group who was repeatedly stopped and searched by the police. He felt singled out and humiliated. These experiences made him feel like an outsider in his own community, leading to feelings of isolation and anxiety. Discrimination isn't just about the big, noticeable things. It's also about the small, persistent instances that wear people down over time. It can lead to a range of mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. In some extreme cases, the feelings of despair and hopelessness can become overwhelming. So, you see, discrimination is not just about hurt feelings. It's a systemic issue that can have a profound impact on a person's mental health and overall well-being. It can make people feel like they're less than, not worthy, not valued. Discrimination, like prejudice, is a pervasive issue that can have lifelong impacts on mental health. It's a burden that no one should have to bear. In our next scene, we'll explore the impact of stigma and how it further adds to these challenges. Stay tuned. Can you envision living in a society where you are constantly stigmatized for your mental health condition? Maybe you have already experienced or witnessed this. Imagine being judged, not for your actions or character, but for an illness that's as real as any physical ailment. This is the reality many people face daily, where mental health stigma acts as a barrier to living a fulfilling life. Consider Jane, a talented artist who battles depression. The stigma she faces often leaves her isolated, her talents obscured by society's misconceptions about her condition. Or think of Tom, a bright student with anxiety, who struggles with self-doubt, fueled by the stigma attached to his mental health. These examples are not rarities, but common occurrences within our society. Stigma can also limit access to mental health services. Many, like Jane and Tom, hesitate to seek treatment, fearing the label of being mentally ill. This, in turn, exacerbates their conditions. These stories underscore the importance of tackling stigma to promote mental well-being. So, how can we as a society reduce prejudice, discrimination, and stigma to improve mental health? Well, one of the most effective strategies is education. By understanding the dynamics of these social issues, we can challenge our own biases and encourage others to do the same. Awareness campaigns also play a critical role. By openly discussing these issues, we can break down barriers of misunderstanding that often fuel prejudice, discrimination, and stigma. Policy changes are another key factor. By implementing inclusive policies in workplaces, schools, and other institutions, we can create environments that discourage discrimination and promote equality. But remember, change begins with us, the individuals. By treating everyone with respect, advocating for those who face discrimination, and challenging our own biases,